What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas coming back with another video this week. This week we're not going to talk about any politics or anything like that. There was nothing really big in the news, except for the Democrats are now backpedaling on their impeachment inquiry and trying to work with Trump because they know it's going bad for them. This week I want to talk mainly about some trailers to some movies that are fixing to come out in 2020 that I just recently saw. First one I want to talk about is Wonder Woman 1984. I just saw the trailer to this week. I don't understand really, I mean I sort of do, but I sort of don't, why it's set in 1984. The only reason I can think of is a few things. They set it in 1984 because it's supposed to set up for the third movie and set up some of her, you know, a couple of villains or whatever for her for the third movie. Here's the thing though, and plot maybe for the new Justice League or whatever, they're setting up characters for the Legion of Doom as well. My main problem is, number one, whoever this Lord Maximilian is or whatever, no one's really heard of him unless they're hardcore comic die-hard fans of Wonder Woman. I don't even know who the guy is, never heard of him. I know a little bit about Wonder Woman. I'm not like a super fan or anything. I never got into delve real deep into the comics of Wonder Woman. But I do know from past like cartoons and crap like that, and some reading some DC comics with Wonder Woman in them, that I know who her main arch nemesis is, and it's not Cheetah. Cheetah's just, you know, a nuisance. She appears every now and then, but Wonder Woman beats her easily every time. Her main arch nemesis, which is she constantly has a hard time fighting, is Circe. And it really irritates me that they didn't go with Circe as her main villain. They went with Cheetah. I don't think Cheetah's worth a crap. Plus the actress who's playing Cheetah is an idiot. She's not funny at all, and she's not a good actress. So that really bums me out as well. I know it's going to be a piss poor villain for her, so they should have gone with Circe. But anyways, it is what it is. Now I do know Chris Pine's character Steve. You know, there's something going on there with him coming back. Now, in the comics, I know he's supposed to become a time traveler or something like that, and pops in and out of time every now and then. So I don't know whether they're actually going with the actual Steve, or, you know, it's a clone or something. There's something fishy going on with him being back. We'll see what happens. But the trailer looked alright for the action scenes. I'm just not going to be real happy with the story. I already know it's going to suck, story-wise. Alright, that's enough of my thoughts on Wonder Woman. The next one I want to talk about is Black Widow. Let's go from DC to Marvel. Now Marvel's coming out with Black Widow, and it looks pretty good. Again, this is not a character that I'm a hardcore super fan in, you know, I'm not, into the hardcore comics, you know, of this particular character. I really don't know a whole lot about Black Widow. I know little, very little actually, about Black Widow. I know she's, she's a spy. She used to be for like the KGB or something in Russia. I didn't even know she had an old team or whatever. I didn't even know anything. I knew about Red Guardian, but I didn't know he was part of the team or whatever. We'll see how that turns out. It looks like it might be pretty decent. But I think it's funny that practically you have these 3 women who are just like on the team who are all spies, and then you have one guy. And it's kind of messed up. But anyways, moving on. The one movie I'm really excited about that I saw the trailer to recently is Ghostbusters 3. The actual 3rd movie. Not that piece of shit in 2016. Which the SJWs are really attacking this movie. Even though the lead character is a girl, they're still attacking this movie, which is dumb. They're idiots. It looks so much better than the fucking piece of shit garbage that came out in 2016. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing this. That's a continuation of the original. Is great in my book. We'll see how it goes. The last trailer I'm going to talk to you about that I just saw, I literally about puked or gagged when I saw this. They've got a movie called Fantasy Island coming out. Blumhouse Productions does. And it looks so bad. It looks horrible. It's not even anything to do with the original Fantasy Island, the TV show from like the 70s and early 80s. It's literally, what they've done is they've taken that show's name and a couple similarities to the show, like Mr. Rourke and the island produces fantasies for people. However, that's not the case in this one. It's literally all horror. They literally turned it into a horror flick, which is retarded. Fantasy Island was about making wishes come true, what if wishes, what if this happened or what if that happened. You got to live your dream on the island for like a week or two or whatever, however long you were there. For instance, if you wanted to be a spy, you got to play a spy, or if you were you wish somebody would come back and be with you for just a short time, someone who might have passed on or something, or perhaps you wanted to be rich, you got to be rich for a little while, that sort of thing. Yes, there were a couple touches of horror in the show, maybe, I don't know, like satanic rituals, that kind of thing, spiritual crap, supernatural stuff, but all the stories were not about, scary or horror stories, or fantasies or whatever. So it really irritates me that literally everybody in the trailer, everybody that's come for the fantasy, there's like 5 or 6 of them, it's all horror stories, which is stupid. Like I said, it's not really anything to do with Fantasy Island. Some idiot went and redid the whole thing, and it's fucking retarded. And the guy who's playing Mr. Rourke doesn't even look Colombian, don't even look like even close to Mr. Rourke. They don't have the little Japanese or Filipino guy you know, saying the plane, the plane, the plane. He's not in it. They just scratched him off. He has nothing to do with it. So it's dumb. It really pisses me off. Hollywood shit up all the time, especially the classics. Oh, it's annoying. Yeah, I probably am not going to see this movie just because they literally destroyed it. I could tell from the trailer. Alright, moving on. Enough of that. Let's go ahead and get to your B-rated movie reviews. Alright, moving on. Movie holics, to your B-rated movie reviews. We're back to Sci-Fi Week, so this time we took a look at a couple of science fiction movies. First one we're going to go over, it was done in 1979, the same year Star Wars came out, and it was done by Disney, and it's called The Black Hole. Now, Anthony Perkins starred in this with Yvette Mimieux. I hope I said that right. And Rodney McDowall as Vincent the Robot. His voiceover, anyway. Movie made about $35 million. There were actually several really good actors in this movie. I just named the top ones. A lot of people, it was, you know, half and half. Like, some people liked this movie and then some people didn't. Some people have a real hatred for it and some people rave it. But it's still classic. The ending's really weird. Basically, the story is, you know, you have a group of scientists and a couple of pilots and an engineer, and they're on a mission to find new life in the galaxy or whatever. And on their way home back to Earth, they stumble across a derelict ship that's seemingly derelict on the outside of a black hole. They decide to go investigate what's going on, see what the ship is and where the crew is, and come to find out it's an old ship that the female scientist on board the ship, her father was the captain of the ship, of this derelict ship, and been lost for like 20 years and no one's heard anything from him. Once they get on board, they find all these robots on the ship. One scientist, a guy named Dr. Reinhardt, is still alive, and he fashioned these robots to help him out. He seems to have figured out a way to break the anti-gravity barrier and is able to make shields out of anti-gravity, and that's why he's able to be so close to the black hole. And he also plans on going through the black hole to see what's on the other side. Well, the crew don't want to go through, so they try to escape. Come to find out, the crew is still there. They're just been turned into zombies by this doctor and made to look like robots. So they're trying to get away from this guy. He starts heading the ship into the black hole. They have a couple of robots, Vincent and this other robot that called Maximilian. You know, they're constantly fighting. The ending's weird. The ship tears up in the black hole. You get a vision of the woman. The woman has this vision where she sees Maximilian and the Doctor become one, and you know they reign over hell or some shit, and she as a spirit leads them through this tunnel of light, supposedly like angelically to heaven or some crap. Next thing you know, the ship comes out of the black hole. They all survive, and they head for this planet, you know, and that's the end. So the ending's not done very well. The ending kind of sucked. The movie was okay for the most part. You don't really see any action till the last 20 minutes. The fight with the robots, and they got some asteroids that come through the ship. The special effects are pretty neat. They're really good for what it was back then. However, the story kind of seemed a little lacking, because once they got on board the ship, most of the time you're just dealing with the scientists sitting there jibber-jabbering about the black hole. So it was really slow for the most part. For some it might be their cup of tea, for others it won't be. I gave it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It was okay. Had some really great actors, so the acting was spot on. But, you know, the special effects wasn't too bad for most part, for what it was. But other than that, the story-wise was really lacking. So, you know, unless you're a really die-hard sci-fi fan, go ahead, or Disney fan, go ahead and watch it. But I don't recommend it for everybody. Not everybody's going to like it. Alright, we're moving on to a movie done in 1973. It's called Idaho Transfer. This was a film done by Peter Fonda, the late Peter Fonda. I don't know what he was thinking when he made this movie. I understand where he was kind of trying to go with it, but at the same time, you know, it was really politically motivated, and it just fell really flat. It stars some chick named Kelly Bohannon and a guy named Kevin Hurst, whoever they are. I tried looking them up, but there's really not a lot of information on them. Basically, the movie is about some college kids. They discover, or by accident, this machine that allows them to travel through time into the future. I'm not sure what the original project was supposed to be. It is funded by the university or the government or something. Anyways, they come and shut it down. They all jump in the time machine and travel to the future because they've been keeping it secret. The government doesn't know what has actually been going on. They found out that the future is apocalyptic. So there's some apocalyptic event. They don't know what happened, but it seems to have wiped out millions of people, and they don't know what happened. So they all escape to the future because the government comes in to try to close the project down, even though they don't know it's actually based on time travel. Apparently, most of the future, all they could find are snakes, because literally all they keep finding is snakes at the very beginning, and they're tracking them. So apparently people become snakes in the future or something. I don't know. It's really weird. It starts off with these two girls. A sister's supposed to train her younger sister into the project just before the government comes to shut them down. However, something happens in the transition, or the older sister, she falls, bangs her head, and when they go back into the past, the sister dies. The older sister does. The younger sister can't seem to get over it for most of the movie. She just goes on and on about it. Now, the older sister was pretty good looking. The younger sister, she was alright, but I wish they would have just stuck with the older sister. Anyways, once they all go through the machine, they all go into the future. And apparently adults can't go either, because it kills their kidneys or some shit. But there is an adult who goes and ends up dying. You don't see him die, but supposedly he dies. Anyways, when they're in the future, they all decide to go search, split up and go search for signs of life. And they leave like 3 people at the base camp. One of them, a female, she's literally lost her mind, has gone nuts and tries to kill everybody. Anyways, they go off and search this ground, and they apparently they find this train car. At one point in time, they find this train car, and you know, you hear this horrific music, but you don't see what's in the train car. And the guy just comes back and tells her, the main character, tells her that it's full of body bags. You know, like they can't show us that or something. You know, whatever. Anyways, the whole train, all the cars on the train are full of body bags. So apparently a lot of people have died. They don't see anybody until later on. They run into part of their group again. They all get together. Come to find out, another couple in the group, they found some people who are kind of like, they're like all hippies, retarded hippies or whatever, and they can't function correctly or some shit. It's really weird. They don't know really how to speak or anything like that. They're just retarded, mentally slow and shit. But anyways, she can't take it. She goes crazy because she finds out that they're all supposed to be sterile when they come through the time machine. So she goes back to go back into the past. She finds the crazy bitch, has killed 2 others, and then she's trying to kill her. Well, she gets in the machine. The machine's not supposed to work anymore. It's the set of fucking AC units out in the middle of nowhere. She figures out somehow the machine comes back on just coincidentally while she's in there. And she goes back into the future, changes some settings at the main place because the government apparently was turning it all back on, trying to figure out what was going on. The guards in the facility try to get her, stop her. She locks the door. She goes back through time even further into the future. And then she has all these flashbacks as she's trekking along this like rocky landscape, and she falls down this hill, and this, I guess supposed to be futuristic car pulls up. She's all deranged and don't know what's going on. She's like dazed and confused, and this guy picks her up, throws her in the back of his like station wagon looking vehicle, shuts her up in this box in the very back. And while they're driving off at the very end, the kid's all like, oh, are we, what happens when we run out of them, and are we going to start using our own people? You know, so basically they've been using these retarded people or hippies for fuel. They somehow turn the humans into fuel for their cars and shit. I don't know. It was really weird. It was dumb. I get where he's going at the end. Like, everybody's using up all the resources and that kind of crap. What are they going to do when all the resources are used up? But still, it was very politically motivated, and it was pretty cheesy. It was dumb. I really didn't like most of this movie. It was really slow, drawn out, You really don't know what's going on through most of the movie. Why they decide to go running around beats me. Yeah, other than to look for other signs of life. But I don't know. It was dumb. The movie was dumb. Like I said, I get what he was going for, but still, it could have been done way better. I don't know. They should have just left the older sister in there and had her do everything. It would have been way better. They could have explained a little bit more about how they found the time machine, how they got to where they were at. Maybe they figure out what happened, what kind of apocalyptic event happened. I don't know. It was done bad, very badly. The acting wasn't really that great either. It was very subpar. I give this movie 2 thumbs down. Unless you're a really hardcore sci-fi fan, I wouldn't even bother with this movie. It was really done. It was like basically he was telling a hippie movie about hippies going to the future. That's literally what it was about, was hippies in the future. It was dumb. Anyways, that's all I have for you this week. If you can think of any great movies that are gems that I might have missed, go ahead and leave a suggestion in the comments down below, and I'll try to get around to, as soon as I can, give you a review and give you an honest opinion about it, tell you some facts about it and such. That's all I have for you this week, and I'll see you next week. I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.